Good morning, everybody. This is Georgia here. It is 12:14:20 at 10:40 a.m. And everybody's all excited today because there's a new moon and a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. And this is going to be an interesting couple of weeks. I guess we've got another 11 days. No, I'm sorry, 7 days, another week until the Great Conjunction. And everybody's pretty excited about the astrology for the end of the year. It's like we've had such a really tight, difficult astrological year since last, February, March, with the pandemic and everything else that's been going on. And the astrology kind of fit. It was definitely a difficult time. Saturn and Jupiter were both in Capricorn, which Saturn actually rules Capricorn. So that makes it a very, 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 very strong Saturn. And Saturn is a tough planet. It's a good planet. We need it because we need to learn. We need to learn our lessons. But we definitely can suffer through Saturn, and with Saturn in its natal sign, with its ruling sign, it rules the sign of Capricorn. Can't talk today, but with Saturn in that, it definitely has been difficult because Capricorn rules perfectionism. It rules our institutions, government, restriction, depression. Those are all Saturn things, and Capricorn consequently reflects that. And then Jupiter, the planet of expansion and hope and good stuff coming, that has been in Capricorn also, which kind of restricts Jupiter from its exuberance. It just kind of closes it down. So it's definitely been a difficult time, and this has been, since this pandemic started. Now Saturn is moving into Aquarius on 12/17, so that's 3 days from now. You'll see it get out of. So we're in the very last degrees, which are often the worst degrees. So we're having a rough time right now. And then Jupiter on the 19th will go into Aquarius. And that will greatly open up things. But it's interesting to me that today, which is a solar eclipse and a new moon in Sagittarius, the sun is in Sagittarius. It's at 23. The moon is at 23 degrees, 8 minutes of Sagittarius. Today we are having our electoral college meeting here in the United States, and it's interesting doing that during an eclipse. I don't know. We'll see. It may not be all that easy or good, or it may go in the other direction and maybe be the final end to all this craziness we've had to deal with. So we've got the new moon in Sagittarius at 23 degrees, 8 minutes. The new moon is when the moon is completely dark. Almost, we can't really see any of it. And it's in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is our beliefs, philosophy and religion, accepting the realities of life. It's truth, personal truths, and truth and justice is Sagittarius. Travel, foreign cultures, publishing, and higher education. In Capricorn, it's definitely restricted, but when it goes into, when Saturn goes into Aquarius, it's definitely going to be released. And the moon in Sagittarius can go two ways. Sagittarius can be very open-minded and expansive, but it can also be dogmatic and pedantic. And, you get religious extremism under, Sagittarius. That's not normal. That would be Sagittarius at its worst. So definitely this eclipse is going to bring all that to light. A lot of this stuff is going to come to a head in the next week. A lot of the things that have been going on. And the eclipse will only be visible like in around South America, around Argentina, and some areas in the South Pacific. So we won't be able to see it, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't affect us, because it does. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about the nodes of the moon. They are, the north node is in Gemini, and the south node is in Sagittarius. The south node is generally what we need to come away from, what we're trying to get past, having mastered in the past, or, you know, it's really a difficult point for us personally and as a society. Gemini moving into the north node is, you know, communication. Communication is a big Gemini thing. Siblings is Gemini. You know, knowledge, learning, but just learning, not having like all opinions about it. Like Sagittarius is always opinionated. It's got, you know, it can have opinions about it. Now, if you have personal planets in Gemini, particularly if you have the sun, moon, rising, or the north node and the south node in Gemini, or Sagittarius, this is going to affect you a lot. So it's a good time to pull out your chart and see where all this is happening. The eclipses can bring about a crisis that leads to change. Change is necessary. You know, in certain areas of everyone's life, we need to make changes. Let's see what else. So the effects of the eclipse can be felt for 6 months, and it can set up the themes for the next 6 months. So going from Sagittarius to Gemini, you know, and we need to expand our horizons, increase our understanding of the world and other cultures. Like, you know, we've been very much the opposite in understanding other cultures. We just sort of rejected them as a society, and, you know, they're all bad, they're all killers. I mean, we've had some real horrible stuff going on. So it's time to reconsider our dogmatic religious beliefs. You know, I'm talking as a society, I'm not talking about individually, although this may apply to an individual who might be listening to this. So it's taking the high road of Sagittarius too, like, you know, truth, justice, you know, fairness, the law, you know, you find accepting realities, personal truth, you know, traveling, publishing, higher education. So it's going the high road. We're needing to go the high road of Sag, and it's showing what the low road is, and that will be right in our faces. You know, we will have seen it. This is the third eclipse in the Gemini-Sagittarius axis. And the last time we had eclipses in Gemini-Sagittarius was 12/2010 to 12/2013. So if you think back to those times, what was going on, and you know, how did it affect you? So I also want to say that, you know, and I've done a whole podcast on this, that next week on the 21st is the solstice, which is the darkest day of the year, and it's celebrated by pagans as return of the sun, return of the light. The light is coming back. So it's also the day when Jupiter and Saturn exactly line up. They're like within seconds of each other. And this is a very, very, very auspicious day. I would think about what you want to manifest, and where you want your life to go, and what's coming. So we have this eclipse now, the new moon, and then next week we have the Great Conjunction, as it's called. And it's significant because it hasn't occurred for 800 years. And in Aquarius, I kind of feel like, you know, it's the age of Aquarius that we've been awaiting. you know, and that's been slowly gaining momentum, is going to really move forward. So going from the Capricorn energy and the age of Pisces, these are all kind of restrictive, religious, governmental, you know, hodgepodge, and they're all like opening up into Aquarius, which is peace, love, and brotherhood. And it's time. It's way beyond time. We have gone so far backwards that it's time to start moving forward and start, you know, honoring our, you know, fellow humans, fellow man, and the planet itself, herself. You know, it's time to start taking care of the planet and, you know, honoring her. So it's going to be like a bit of an upheaval here, but it's in a good way. I feel like it's going to be good for us. We're going to start to see our way out of this morass of negativity and depression and all the things we've been putting up with. We're going to start to see our way out of it and into a more equitable and kind, unified world. So blessings, everyone. If you want to know more about me and my work, you can check out my website, www.georgiavallejos, that's VLAHOS.com. And I hope to hear from you. Take care. Blessings.